everyone! So today I'm here to review the Urban Decay Afterglow 8-Hour Powder Blushes. They individually retail for $26 US, 31 in Canada. They contain 0.23 ounces of product and they're available in 12 shades. They're said to be a blendable, finely milled powder blush that sweeps on beautifully and delivers 8 hours of streak-free color. The packaging is a metallic gunmetal compact with a transparent window in the shape of the brand's logo, which is intended to show the color of the blush. They also feature a magnetic closure and the sticker is color-coded depending on the shade, which is incredibly helpful for storing since the transparent window really doesn't show the color of the blush that well. The description of these blushes is pretty spot on. The formula has a very finely milled, smooth texture, and a very buildable, semi-sheer to mostly opaque, true-to-pan color payoff. The one and only downfall with these blushes is that they do tend to be pretty powdery in the pan, in the sense that once you pick the product up, there's a lot of loose powder sitting on top of the pan in the compact. Luckily, the powderiness doesn't transfer to your skin once it's applied though. If you are familiar with the Naked Flushed palettes, then you may already be used to this issue, but the Afterglow blushes aren't nearly as troublesome. Bittersweet is a medium to dark, brightened purple with hints of fuchsia, cool undertones, and a matte finish. The texture was incredibly soft, smooth, finely milled, but I did find that excess powder did sit on top of the pan once the product had been picked up with a brush. It had great pigmentation that was easy to build and blend out nicely on the skin, but it is surprisingly very wearable. It's not as scary as it looks in the pan, I promise. Bittersweet wore well for 8 hours before fading. Fetish is a medium to dark, muted dusty rose with warm undertones and a matte finish. The texture was soft, smooth, finely milled, but again I did notice excess powder sitting on top of the pan. This shade more so than the rest of them. It had good pigmentation, but I did notice that it had some troubles adhering to the skin, which made it difficult to blend out evenly. Fetish wore well for 7 hours. Obsessed is a light to medium lavender pink with cool undertones and a satin matte finish. The texture was ultra silky, soft, smooth, finely milled on the skin, but again, it did have problems having excess powder in the pan, but not powdery on the skin. It had good pigmentation that was buildable despite its more pale nature and blended out evenly. Obsessed wore well for 8 hours before fading. Rapture is a medium to dark muted plum with cool undertones and a golden sheen finish. It's also the shade that I currently have on my cheeks today, but it kind of mixed with my contour shade, so it's kind of coming off warmer toned. The texture was soft, smooth, silky, finely milled, and this shade, unlike the rest, didn't have the issue of having a thinner texture or excess powder in the pan. It had excellent buildable pigmentation and left a soft satin sheen to the skin. Rapture wore well for 8 hours before fading. Video is a medium to dark brown with warm undertones and a satin finish. The texture was again, and yes I am a broken record, silky, soft, smooth, finely milled. It had great pigmentation that was buildable and it blended out nicely on the skin. I was personally hoping that this shade could be doubled as a contour shade, but at least on my NW10/15 skin it leans far too warm for that. Video wore well for 8 hours before fading. So overall, the Afterglow blushes perform great on the skin despite being thinner and more powdery in the pan. They really do seem to stand true to their 8-hour wear claim, and the range does have a nice selection of neutral to bold shades. Only a small amount of product is needed for a sheer wash of color, but you can definitely achieve a brighter, more intense color payoff for darker skin tones. So if you're in the market for some new blushes, these ones are definitely worth checking out. So be sure to let me know in the comments below which shades out of the 12 you'd be interested in picking up, or if you already have picked some up, and what your thoughts are on them in general. Personally, I'm really ecstatic that Urban Decay has finally come out with some standalone blushes. It's about time. As always, don't forget to check out my blog for more details, photos, and swatches, as well as like, comment, and subscribe to show your support. If you'd like to give me a follow, I will have all of my social media listed here, as well as down in the description. As I always say, I hope you found this review helpful, and I hope that you're having a fantastic day, and thank you so much for watching.